The Baltimore experience is about more than exploring neighborhoods and cultural sites. To know this place, you must meet the artists, provocateurs, and visionaries who call Charm City home. Welcome to Charm City Stories. Why photo books? What gave you the idea for this?
You know, I've always collected photo books. I've been a photographer for 12, 13 years. The big thing is why not anything else? I just know this medium, so I sort of stick to what I know. So the neighborhood we're in is Remington. We're sort of situated between Charles Village, Old Goucher to the south of us, and Hamden just above us. It's sort of a neighborhood that's really been evolving, I think, in the last probably 3 to 5 years. There's been a lot of new shops and businesses popping up.
Have you seen the art scene develop since you've had your store open, or how's that transformed in the last few years?
There has been sort of a growing interest in the photo book. You know, there's people that organize photo walks. There's a couple photo book meetups. We host one here. I think it's always sort of growing and evolving, whether it's just photography or other mediums. Yeah, there's a little bit of everything going on. I think it's sort of a city that is sort of well suited to artists. It's an affordable city. I think that's what attracts a lot of us. That's how I ended up here initially.
You are packing and shipping these books all over the world, right?
We're one of the few places in the US that does ship photo books specifically international. So we, I think in a way, have sort of become one of those places that people can count on to get titles that aren't stocked in their country. I think there's just sort of a DIY kind of ethos or attitude in Baltimore of like, it feels possible that if you want to make something happen here, it's attainable to like make it happen. It's also just a very beautiful, vibrant city with a lot of amazing culture and things to see. Whether you have these grand aspirations of starting a business or you just want to move somewhere that's like maybe a slower pace than the big cities, but still with a lot of things going on, I think it's a great choice for anybody.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the museum? It is absolutely beautiful.
Well, the Baltimore Museum of Art is actually about 110 years old. As of right now, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is that we focus on local artists, global artists, and we're also really interested in sort of like shifting the narrative of like the typical museum. That's really important to us. We are focusing a lot on women artists, Black artists, like some artists that you normally wouldn't hear about or that tend to be a bit marginalized when you think about the canon of museums. We're also focusing on local artists. So we're, you know, wrapping our arms around like our artists that are right here in Baltimore, and there's so many.
So there's so many different types of mediums of art that you guys have within your walls. Can you kind of run us through this for someone that's never visited?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's photography, there's mixed media. I mean, we're standing in Antioch Court right now surrounded by mosaics. Of course, there's painting, there's sculpture. There's also performance through programming and different things like that. So pretty much, if you're looking for it, it's here. And even if you aren't looking for it, you're going to find it.
Do you think that there's been an uptick in the arts and culture around the city of Baltimore?
I think so. We're a town of makers. There used to be steel mills. You have a lot of folks that come from a lineage of like industry. We've always just been a creative city, and I think people are starting to see that a little bit more. And Baltimore is a town where you can try things out. You can be experimental. You know what I mean? You don't have to marry one medium or marry one style of being creative. Performers can also paint. Photographers can also dance or do sculpture. And there's not a lot of borders, not a lot of lines. So it's a great place to come and just explore your own creativity.
So Creative Alliance, you guys are doing a little bit of everything. Can you give us a rundown?
I can try to give you a rundown, yes. Creative Alliance is a multifaceted arts organization. We have 2 spaces here in the Highlandtown Arts District. The building we're in now is the Patterson. We're located in the historic Patterson Theater. We have 2 gallery spaces here, a theater where we host about 100 to 120 events a year, 8 artists in residence that actually live upstairs and they live and work studios. And then we also have a brand new building across the street called the Creativity Center. And in there we have 2 arts classrooms, we have a dance studio, and we have a teaching kitchen. What we do is work really closely with our community members and with the people of Baltimore and artists from around the world. We try to put together really interesting combinations, and we let them talk to each other. It's about making art accessible to everyone. Baltimore's a city of a lot of strength, a lot of identity, a lot of individual identity, and I think the most wonderful way that we all end up working together is when the arts districts in the area are really talking to each other and building events together.
Community is such an important part of what you guys are doing. Can
Absolutely.
you tell us what you think that the pulse of the community of Baltimore is like?
Baltimore is an incredibly vibrant city. It is very culturally rich, which I don't think a lot of people know. There are just so many neighborhoods here in Baltimore that all have their own identity and their own people, and then when you mush them all together and kind of let them do their thing and get to know each other, it just feels like anything's possible here.